In this module, we're going to be looking at the first two cues of convenience, the addiction cue and the transactional cue. Addiction convenience is exemplified by gamification. At Trend Hunter, it's interwoven into everything we do, and there are countless studies highlighting how effective it can be in the workplace. However, the retail gamification sphere is a great place to analyze that transactional connection. Brands are embracing gamification with in-store activities and competitions to encourage shoppers to more frequently visit brick-and-mortar locations. One of my favorite new sayings is, "It always seems impossible until it's gamified." Nike was able to create an amazing gamified experience with ReactLand, where consumers were able to attend, create a virtual avatar, try on the brand's latest fitness sneaker, and use a treadmill to play a VR-styled video game, allowing them to see how their shoe felt while being physically active. And of course, consumers were able to share 10 seconds of their experience on social media, making the memorability factor incredibly irresistible. But an installation like ReactLand doesn't live in a bubble. Even a standalone activation like ReactLand ties into their Nike Running Club ecosphere. Can this newest cross-trainer help you beat your time? Has it shaved a few milliseconds off your incline? Product recommendations, of course, personalized based on the user's profile and running style, that's the norm. But users can even log miles on their current pair of shoes regardless of the brand, and they automatically receive reminders of when those shoes are in need of replacement. Hospitality brands are increasingly incorporating elements of gamification into their accommodations, whether that be in the theme of the rooms they offer, in their loyalty programs, or in additional elements they offer throughout the customer's journey. Gamified hotel packages that focus on play are revamping the hospitality space for consumers who would still consider novelty travel experiences over cultural ones. The Cosmopolitan's Hotel's AI-enhanced loyalty program was a really interesting one. It felt like a risky foray in the beginning. Chatbots tend to be slower to be adopted, and the Cosmopolitan hoped to change that with Rose. Initially, Rose was a concierge robot that patrons could interact with, ask for towels, restaurant recommendations, and even play a game of Would You Rather. Following improvements, they've tweaked the service to provide a more personalized and enhanced guest experience and are gearing up to introduce the high-tech device as a loyalty members only benefit. The chatbot will be able to serve and prioritize guest reservations. It will learn about what they like and how to assist them. And of course, the carefully cultivated, cheeky, and playful attitude remained intact. The results spoke for themselves. While there was a low amount of check-ins that used Rose, 82% were highly engaged, and when they returned, they spent more money and returned through a direct channel. Uber is an amazing example of addictive convenience, and it's easy to see why they're the premier ride-sharing app. But their partnerships are often centered around allowing you to do more with their service. Things like Cargo, the in-car vending service replacing those several months old water bottles you were getting from the trunk, and Silent Rides for those of us who are antisocial. Lyft's taken that transactional approach to the next level. Their grocery program gets you lower cost rides to do their essential shoppings, and their newest foray gets you free rides to job interviews, and if you do happen to land that job, you can get 3 weeks of rides until you get that first paycheck for free and pay them back. When it comes to this more shared system of transportation, this idea of mobility as a service will continue to gain traction. In North America, Uber reigns supreme with only a handful of borderlines to deal with, but in Europe, we're seeing a ton of ulterior options pop up, and one of my favorites is Whim. Whim is an interesting service that is making borders disappear. The app aims to make one streamlined service for any transportation across borderlines, so whether you're taking the bus, hailing a taxi, or getting a bike, you have one single source of truth to get you to where you need to be. So that wraps up the first module and the first two cues to the new convenience. That's addiction convenience and transactional convenience. Your workshop questions for this module are, for addiction, if your service or product existed as a standalone app, how could you gamify that experience? And for transactional, how can you make all transactions seamless? And if not seamless, how can you take advantage of each touch point? I'll see you in the next module.